What's going on, people? Welcome back to another JSTV. Back again. It's the transfer show tonight, and I should have Tom with us, but I don't know what's going on with Tom. But I've got Paul with us, though. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. All good.
Fantastic stuff. I've been on for a couple of days. I thought I'd take a bit of a break, and I've got a massive show tomorrow. Let's talk FFP and PSR with Carl and Martin tomorrow night for FAP show, and they're the experts on it, and it's going to be a cracking show. So, guys, if you like what you watch, make sure thanks for locking in, by the way. Like and subscribe. Super chats are open for 9. If you just give what the channel's worth, and if you'd like to become a member, it's 99p as well. Hi to Tom. Tom was coming on, mate. Good for you. Hi to Leslie. Yeah, please share share to socials as well. Thank you very much indeed. Hi to Roger. Hi to you, mate. Hope you're good. Hi to Gary. Hi to Ian. And all the lovely people in the chat as well. Thank you very much indeed for that. Let's go for it as well. It's Lords tonight, isn't there? Stacey Favour. Hi to Lorraine. Hi to Ian again. Johnson bits that I have for different reasons. And Newcastle Isak. We're going to talk about that. Worst say and no. But we're going to talk about that lead year. No worries about that at all. So don't panic. And thanks to Ian. Got loads tonight. Keep them coming, man. Hi to Roger again. Hi to Colton and the chat crew. Big up to Ian. Both great lads. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Alan, as well. Right, we're going to start with reports coming in from Turkey, Paul, about Jamal Lascelles. We know he's got 6 months left on his contract to go, and he's being linked with Besiktas. And for me personally, I wouldn't give him another contract. I say if he wants to go, we're not going to stand in this way. It's a new challenge for him. And yeah, so what do you think on him, mate?
Well, it's kind of nowhere, isn't it? Really. I saw that today while I was at work, and I was like, random, like, you know, an offer, allegedly an official offer, whether that's true or not, in the January window when all these rumours kick about. But he's certainly earned someone to be interested in, because look at what he's done. You know, you can't. It's not that shocking that someone's looked at him, because he has been in the Champions League. Or, you know, in front of a lot of people who's watching, so other people could have seen good performances and thought, hey, you know, he's worth a punt. And then see he's pulled in for Botman when Botman was being away, and they probably know that he's not a first choice, you know, for the defence. And I think that, you know, it's an interesting link, especially that we're trying to earn money any bloody way we can, because it seems that we just seem to have all the money in the world, but we can't spend it because we're, you know, if we go 1 penny over, we just know that we're going to get docked 50 points or something and stuck in, you know, League One or something, you know, because that just be our luck. You know, Man City just keep getting away with it, and we'd be the ones that get done really early. So it's an interesting one. I guess it depends on a lot of things. It depends on if you know, if that's what Eddie wants to happen. It depends on the money of what they're offering. I guess it depends on what Lascelles is wanting to do. You know, does he want to move abroad or not? You know, that'd be another decision to make. And then whether, you know, because it is, you know, but again, another decision is like you're losing a player there.
Yeah.
Can we, you know, another thing to think of is, do you need to bring someone else in? Because we've seen this before, haven't we? If Botman's out for any particular reason, Lascelles was your natural backup. If he's out, then it's like, okay, like, you know, Burn can go there. That can happen. You know, Kraft can go in, you know, and centre back as well at times. But, you know, again, you're leaving yourself a bit short. So it's kind of like, it's just one, isn't it? It's just a toss up whether, you know, whether you just risk having that you know, that's position a bit short, but then at least it would give you a bit of money to play with here and there, because that seems my biggest problem, that we just want to try and thread that needle until summer, really, by the looks of it, because we don't want to, you know, we don't want to go over it, because we just, you know, we've seen that Everton and Forest in a bit of bother. Anyone else who dares go over that little threshold, it looks like they're going to get done. You know, listening to good old Masters in his you know, session there. Some of the wording he used was a bit shocking. You know, calling Everton and Forest small clubs. I mean,
I've heard that.
I mean, you can while I'm down, mate. Jesus, you know. But yeah, so it'd be interesting with what happens with Lascelles. Like I said, I think there's a lot of factors that need to be ticked off before that goes through. But this is the thing, isn't it? We normally see these sorts of transfers when they pop out of nowhere, don't we? Like, you know, when Isaac kicked off, it was, you know, oh, apparently we're in for him, and then we had him. And this one kind of came out of nowhere again, didn't it? Where we're like, oh, someone's in for Lascelles, are they? Apparently. So I think this time there might be a bit of fruition to it, because sometimes there's been nothing behind it, has there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything can happen as well, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to see where this is going to lead, because look, there's opportunity for him, and I think he should make this move personally. And if he's going to stay to the end of the season, that is fine. But we need to get rid of the players out of contract at the end of the season, in my opinion, because we need to get players coming in. We have to get rid of players. It's the opportunity to get rid of Lascelles. No disrespect. He's been a great servant. 213 games for Newcastle, 13 goals for the club. And he's been the captain since after Benitez has been here. So it's going to go away with, I wouldn't say legacy, but he walk with his head out high. He is going to be remembered playing the Championship. And you know what? He doesn't owe us anything, really.
He's been an incredible servant. Like I said, I think that what I love about the whole of his career here is that he was the main man when he came in. You know, he came in under a very hard time with Newcastle. Rafa really liked him as a player, and I still absolutely love that. You know, it was, I can't remember what game it was exactly, but I still remember the press conference. I think we'd lost, and they kind of asked themselves about the performance, and he was pretty blunt. He said that it wasn't good enough. He wasn't happy with some of the characters in the back, because he felt they were more bothered about their moves than worried about relegation. And I was like, this is brilliant. This, you know, he speaks really well. And then we heard all the stories about him, you know, being a bit, what's the word we can use? A bit forceful with some players. With, you know, getting his point across pretty bluntly with some players who he felt weren't, you know, doing a shift. You know, he wasn't scared to stand up to him, which again just made us love him even more. And then, yeah, like you say, in the Championship, he was phenomenal. Like, just took to that really well. It was a really good captain. You know, stuck with us, came up with us, led the group again under Rafa, and we came 10th that season with bloody, you know. And again, he's doing better now, but with Hoslu up front, we still finished 10th with that squad. One of the biggest achievements of Rafa Benitez's career, I still think, because that squad had no right finishing as high as they did. Rafa did an amazing job with the limited funds and limited squad we had. And yeah, and then, you know, then he's kind of, obviously, when we've gone into the takeover, you know, we've bought Botman, and he's obviously been the main person. And like I said, what I like about Lascelles is he could have been annoyed, thrown his toys at a pram, you know, moaned, whatever, you know, got annoyed about it. But he just kind of said, I'm gonna, you know, do my time here. And then when Botman was injured, again, look at how amazing he was. It was as if, you know, we didn't really miss Botman that much when he was out. And that was amazing, thinking of like Lascelles and how many people are like, well, he's done, he's out, he's gone for good. So for me, if he does leave, he'll leave with a very high, you know, highly thought of in Newcastle fans' minds. He certainly doesn't owe us anything. I think he'd be wished with all the best. I'd be, you know, in a funny way, I'd be a bit gutted, because I think he's kind of earned a new contract. But I get that if you can get a bit of money for him, I'm not going to say no, because we're just in this stupid position where we need, you know, we could really do with that money to spend a little bit on some players, because January is looking quiet, and Joe being out for, you know, pretty much guaranteed, that's been confirmed pretty much, he's out for the season. My God, that's gutting. That really is gutting. The only positive ray of hope is that Joe Willock's been a bit cheeky and been putting out some pretty good videos of him being ready or nearly ready. So that's Oh, that's a relief that he's nearly back.
Mm.
Please don't aggravate anything, Joe, for God's sake. Because we really need him back. Because when Bruno inevitably gets his yellow card, what is that midfield going to look like?
This is why we need a number 6. Badly need a number 6. Yeah, forget about Calvin Phillips because I can't see him coming to Newcastle. There's just no way because of this FFP, and it's a shame really because we could have done with him. But when you got Palace after him, West Ham's after him as well, then Newcastle made it clear we're not going to get him. So 7 mil on a loan deal, and then you got to pay the rest up as well in the summer. So it is what it is. Kraft says centre back for Sweden. He has indeed. I would have no problems him playing at centre back. I'd take Benzema if he will come. Back up for Isak and Wilson, loan deal. I don't think he's going to come to Newcastle, mate. Absolutely no chance. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's good at a time, but it's got to be a reason why no other clubs want him as well. But he's 36 and he's scored 13 and 17 for the Saudi club at this moment in time. Got to go, lads. The last catch you. You take care, Ian. You watch what you're doing, mate. I'll see you soon. Yeah, it's going to say, son's nickname asked me to change. Being the fabulous human I am. Here we are. Big up to you,
You
Phil.
got any chance a Carl Pilkington fan there, mister? I wonder if that's the Carl Pilkington reference. Let me know.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Big up to everyone else in the chat. Big up to Neil. Oi, Johnny. How's it going? Going great. Absolutely fantastic. I hope you're having a good day as well. And yeah, so let's hope this Lascelles deal goes through for me. Just get what we can for him. Even if it's like a 1.5 or 2 million, whatever it may be, by Sheekas, then I think, personally, I think he should go. I think he should go. No disrespect to Jamal, but we do need to bring players in. Same club wanted him in the summer. Yes, it's not the first time they've been linked with him as well. Indeed, it's Sheekas. The responsibility is being a dad. Congratulations to being a dad anyway. Dangerous letting the cells leave without replacement. Understandable. And big up to Tapper Pickle. Like it. Howay to you, JJ. Hope you're good. And there's some more comments as well. I would like to see Ederson sign Lan Phillips in Jan. He is far better than Phillips, in my opinion. Let's touch on Ederson for Atalanta. Right, this guy is really, really good player. Yeah, plays at Atalanta. Started at Salernitana when he left Brazilian football, and you know what it is, right? I don't know if you know a lot about this guy, but he is a box player as well. His passing ability is great. He loves to move the ball as well. And the thing is, though, we could do another midfielder anyway. I think this guy can come in, right? And I think he'd do a really good job. I mean, if anyone doesn't know about this guy, he 6 foot, he's scored 9 goals and 56 appearances, and he's a really good player. I mean, what do you know about him, Paul? We definitely need a CDM.
We do. Again, it's just have we got the funds to play around with to put a bid in or whatever, you know, even loan fee. It just seems that we just seem to be scraping around. It just feels like, which was maybe why things like the sales might happen, to free up a little bit of cash, you know, to do deals like this. So it does feel frustrating, doesn't it? We were in this position a couple of years ago, weren't it, when we were trying to get who's that lad we were trying to get and we couldn't afford him for the loan fee, and it's like £1 million. Someone remind me in the chat, and we all make jokes about the fact we couldn't ever get him because we didn't have enough money, and then we were buying players, and we're like, we've gone from not paying a $1 million for him to getting up there. Yeah, so for me, it'd be a great player. I like it. I agree. I like him a lot more than Calvin Phillips. Hell of a lot more. For me, it's not about if we can do it, then brilliant. I'd love that. The only thing I worry about is nothing to do with him as a player. It's more about, do we have the ability to do it? Because it just seems that this is our big thing where we're stuck. I don't know whether it's just like them being over shrewd and Eddie just being his usual, self about making up stories and not being completely honest. But, my friend who looked over the financials said to me that there's not a lot that Newcastle can do with how FFP works. Not yet, anyway, because the real figures will come in the summer when we can add Champions League money, seller money, all this other stuff can get added to it, which will give us a lot more freedom to do stuff. So, like I say, I think he's a fantastic player. I think he'd fit into Newcastle really well. I think his play style is exactly what Eddie wants, for definite. I think he'd fit in the CDM very nicely. So for me, it's 100% a tick. But like I said, my only worry is, can we do it? It's, if we go one penny over, we all know they'll be on us straight away. They'll be on us.
Yeah, totally agree. Like I said, this guy is resilient, and he's not an international player just yet, but he will be in time. And he loves to join the attack. His dribbling ability is good, and he can bring the ball out as well. And I think it'd be a great acquisition for Newcastle, but Atalanta don't really want to sell at this moment in time. But if they don't in Jan, they do it in the summer. And he's a really good player, he really is. But Juve is after him as well. Go back to Phil's comments. Have you seen Ederson links? Don't know much about him, if I'm honest. What position does he play? Yeah, he plays in CDM and midfield as well. Anywhere in the midfield. 52 million quid, that one. And let's go on to some more comments. He's like Joel Linton, and actually a 10 on Sunday. Let's just look. He's 10 years old. Good news there, Philly. Hi to Gareth. Hope you're good. He is indeed. And let's go on to the next one. Respect the good service of the club and Ostagler side. Nature of the game now is churn and upgrade. Respect for and best luck to him. Big up. Big up, big up, big up. Let's go on to definitely need him. That's from Phil. Could have worked together. It's a possibility. I don't see why not. And apparently Joe is back for the Villa match. That's Joe Willock for the Villa game.
It looks like it's close. Yeah, it does look like it's close. Just fingers crossed he doesn't aggravate anything, because that seems to have happened twice this season, where he's bloody come back or nearly come back and then aggravated it.
Yeah.
We want some good luck. Give us some blooming good luck, please. Please, injury people. Just give us some nice luck.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My grandchildren are 30, 11 and 7. Make the most of it, Phil. Thanks for sharing that, Les. And I hope your grandchildren are amazing as well. Lots to say and write the pressure off and spend money to take the 12 penalty points. Oh, Lorraine, no way. Nah chance. Absolutely no chance.
Because, like I said,
I liked it as well.
Yeah, but we won't get the points. We'll get the bloody transfer ban for 3 years or so. Do you know what I mean? This is the problem with us. I just know that if we break the rules because we just think, well, whatever, we're just going to do it. Do you know what I mean? We'll be the ones where they say, well, you can be banned for 3 months, for 3 years from transfers or some, it'd just be typical Newcastle. It really would be. It'd just be typical us if we went over it. It really would be.
Absolutely. Got one from Toon Travels as well on Twitter. Turns down Arsenal, absolutely rubbish. We still got to speak about that, but he won't. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, but you know what? We're going to talk about Isak anyway, but it's been linked with Arsenal, but we're going to come on to it in a bit. But at the end of the day, right, he's going nowhere. And I will tell you why Isak won't be going in a bit. We won't do that, Lorraine. Sticking to the rules 100%. That is the only way. And let's go on to... Certainly, it's trying less time so good on fast enough. Cool. We need Ederson. We do as well. Hi to Mighty Mag. I hope you're well, mate. I've got 50 people watching in the room, and that's on both platforms, by the way. Thank you very much for joining as well.
Guys.
Which is good. 53 people watching as well. That's fantastic, man. Let's go on to Phil. Do you know whether Big Joe's injury needs immediate attention, or it's a sort of way he can put off operation? But like Pope said last year, clutching at straws, I know, mate, you're not going to take a chance on him. He's out for the season. With Fana Famidi. He's looking that way.
Yeah.
It's looking that way. It's looking that way. Don't look good, doesn't it? And MM9.
Oh, yes.
Tom in the building. Chowdhury. Not for me.
How are you doing, guys? All right?
Big up team.
Yeah,
Tom, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. One sec. I'll just get rid of this. Sorry,
Yeah,
I've
turn
been
that
a bit
down,
late
mate.
tonight.
Right.
I've been looking after grand.
I turn that, mate.
And when you've got 6 of them, it does take its toll. So, right, we've been
Brilliant.
talking about this. Can you hear me all right?
I can, yes, we can, mate.
Yeah, so...
We're talking about Jamal Lascelles,
All right.
linked to Besiktas, and as we reports today, that strong links that they made them an offer, put a bid in, but nothing's gone through yet. But do you think it's time for him to move on from Newcastle United? For me, yes. Would you say Pasha's new for him?
Yes, I think so now. I think he's been a great servant. He's been a good player. But I don't think he's the player now which Newcastle want to move forward with. They want somebody who's good on the ball. One thing about Lascelles, when he's playing and he plays out, he plays always to his right, and he's looking for an outlet on the right-hand side. And I can't remember which side it was, they blocked that. And when they block that, they create Lascelles problems because he's only got one place to go then. They block the pass across to his, maybe, like, let's say, the bottom. The only place he could go is back again. He doesn't have that guile. He doesn't have that now no confidence, in fact, to try and get himself out that and play the ball from the back. So I think Lascelles has been a great leader as well. But I think maybe time it is. I think he probably knows that as well. I'm not sure whether he will go at the moment. The reason for that is it's very, very quick. Maybe hasn't had time to chat or really let his family take things in.
Mm-hmm.
Summer would be easier on him. And we all know what this window's like. It's very hectic. And but it comes down to the old adage, it's getting salaries off the wage bill again. And that just shows how tight FFP is. But then Paul was saying that his friend thinks that they've got to wait till the summer. Well, my question is, if they've got to wait till the summer, what's the difference between now and the summer when it's taken over the space of a financial year?
Yeah, that's a fair shout. I think he made some good points there. I mean, I think he needs to be moved on, and then that gives us better space to get someone else in as well. But maybe another defender or maybe another midfielder, because I mean, Emil Kraft could play in the centre at the back as well. I can't see him going anywhere in this January window. But we need to keep Kraft because he's at a contract at the end of the season. I think he needs to be moved away as well.
He does, but also I have to say I thought Kraft was excellent against Manchester United, I think as a player, he's improved tremendously. He's now got guidance off Eddie. But you know it is, John. But that's totally I'm a suspicious thing. So I'll tell you as it is, right? Is there a disconnect between Newcastle's board and PIF? And by that I mean are things being prevented from moving forward, or is it what it is and what we see and how tight it is? And I have doubts on that, I'll be honest with you. Or is it the third one? Is it that they want to hold it back until the summer, but like other owners, are they holding that back because they're maybe not sure about Eddie? I don't know. I don't know what it is out of those three. But if we're in a new financial year and they've got that money coming in, well, they know what they've got coming in. And if they know what they've got coming in, my question is, why aren't they spending it? And just the body actions of Eddie in his press conference and what I saw, I just felt there was something more underlying. And Eddie's no fool. He's a good manager. He understands people as well. But it just makes me wonder. It just makes me wonder what has suddenly stopped. And it has stopped.
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting question there, because we haven't heard from Dan Asher and either sort of thing. So something ain't right there at the club in a minute, but we don't know the movements, Paul. I mean, Tom said a good point. Are they saving the money? Do they trust Eddie, or do they want someone else in?
We've seen it all before. This happens regularly. I mean, just look at Moyes down the road at West Ham. The same thing potentially. He's being offered a contract in the media, but not offered a contract personally, I believe. And then they want to hold back monies for the summer. Yeah. Now, I think Dan Ashworth is a very, very astute man. And I think he's very important to Newcastle United. And the reason I say that is definitely for the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think really Dan Ashworth really knew what was going to be happening when he walked into the club. And we waited 6 months for him to get over his garden leave. Mm-hmm. That he would walk into a position where he literally has no money to spend. No youngsters. Nobody really thought about coming in. So hence, looking at all those little factors on the outside of this, what's being played out.
Yeah.
You know, one can think, well, is it this or is it that? Is it Eddie? Is it Piff have said, hold on, we're not quite sure. Let's wait and see how the season goes. And let's be honest, Piff are noted to be quite ruthless. They really are. So therefore, you know, it does make you wonder. And Eddie's last number of games, where I still have the fullest confidence in him, we're dealing with a completely different set of cards here with this new owners wanting to move forward. Everything they touch seems to actually make a return on investment. The club's now worth, you know, maybe 800 a billion. Sorry. So is this another push forward to say, okay, well, hold on, what's the point in spending good money, you know, too early? If we may be looking at something or someone else, I don't know. But as a businessman or a retired businessman, yeah, I think I would maybe think the same. There you go.
Thank you. Thanks for that, man. We have to wait and see what happens, you know what I mean, moving forward. But again, no one don't know what Piff's movements are. Got one from Michael. What crap are you spouting? Michael, we're talking about transfer show, mate, yeah? So do put respect on our name. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Why don't we just sign the Brazil team? That would be amazing. Just to look on top spears would be great. Aston Allen.
Well, the lad they're looking at from Atlanta, which I missed, obviously part of the conversation.
Yeah, Ederson as well.
Yeah, I've watched him before, and there's a few things which I've noticed. He's quite tall. He seems very good with his head.
Yeah.
All right, they're only clips, but he seems very mobile. He seems a good tackler. He has no problem going up and down the centre of the park from our side to theirs. And then you see, I wouldn't say, well, hold on, is he coming in to do the Phillips? But then when I look at him, he doesn't look at Phillips. He looks more like a creator. So is he there for Bruno? You know, do you know what I'm saying? Is it something else we don't know what they're thinking about doing? Because if it is for Bruno, then I think possibly then it might be down to the fact that if it is for Bruno, they do want to make decisions now and hold that back, and that would make sense.
Yeah. We got to touch on Bruno later on as well, because we're going to find out where's the best. If he is going to leave Newcastle, where's the best position is going to place to play his football next season. But I want Bruno to stay. We're going to talk about Bruno later on. Let's go through some comments as well. Still don't understand why United can be nearly £1 billion in debt and get away with it. Thanks for that, Les. Was not Sedan, Paul? Don't know. And I've got one for Eileen. Hi to Eileen. Hope you're good. Hi to Big Morgan. Hello, George. Hope you're well. Spot on, mate. Hope you are too. We need to sign a Chelsea midfielder last year. Mosa Caicedo would have been good for us, but he's not going anywhere, unfortunately. Just no way.
He's been terrible.
Yeah,
he's been awful since he's gone there.
He could have played us last game. He could have played us. He could have what do you call it? What can I say about him, man? I mean, it hasn't been impressive for Chelsea at the minute, but he'll come good. He'll come good. Just got some news, right, guys? Right, this is no joke, right? From the Daily Mail, exclusive from Craig Hope, and saying that Joe Linton could have played this last Newcastle game amid a contract standoff. The club will be forced to sell injured Brazilian star in the summer if there's no breakthrough 18 months run on his current deal. I say it again, right? It's exclusive to Craig Hope, right? That Joe Linton could have played this last Newcastle game amid contract standoff, and they will force to be selling him if he does sign a new deal. Oh, that's a new one, mate. That's a new one. Daily Mail, man.
Well, it's Craig Hope. He loves a negative story, old Craigie. We love Craig, love him so much. He's always so positive about Newcastle. I mean, look, but what's he mean? What does he mean? Joe Linton's out with a big injury, possibly like the season ender of injuries. No effect. Like, I'm not being funny. What time is he going to have to be doing anything about contracts at the moment? Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like a bizarre timing. Maybe there are contract breakdown, but it probably might be because they're more worried about, well, let's assess this injury, mate, and then we can talk about the contract when you're feeling a bit better after the surgery. You know, it's sometimes these stories. I just think they want the clicks, they want the panic, this all that. I'm sorry, if you look at how Joe's attitude is, his behaviour, his body language, how he plays for Newcastle, he doesn't, to me, look like a player who doesn't want to be here or doesn't want to play here. So for me, all this nonsense about contract breakdown, do you know what I mean? Maybe that might be true, but it probably is because he's just had a horrible injury. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if he said anything after the article, but
sorry, Paul, but I think there's a difference from a journalist point of view and ours between a contract breakdown and a renegotiation.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It might be something really small. It's just, this is the problem with, Craig and all those. They just want a big story to get in there. They know that Joe's big news at the moment. For me, if we put enough of a sensible contract in front of him, I think he signs it without thinking. I really do. I think if we put anything sensible in front of him, he signs it because he loves playing for Newcastle. I know that for a genuine fact how much he loves playing for Newcastle. So, yeah, it's got nothing to do with. Well, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't read his article, but it's got nothing to do with us being disrespectful with some sort of terrible contract that doesn't make any sense. So that just annoys me when I need to read the article before I give much opinion on it. But for me, it just seems like the usual Craig Hope positivity.
Yeah.
Wow. Just to say as well, he also added, that Philip Billing could be his replacement from Bournemouth. 7 goals this season.
Who?
Philip Billing from Bournemouth. Bournemouth, the Danish lad.
Yeah, I think Joe Linton's got 1 or 2 unique skills, and he's a fantastic footballer. He's certainly a player that could be wanted by clubs, and but for 18 months, you see, I know we want to keep these players, but we're on a journey now, and these players are going to come and go. And we look at the likes of Man City and Liverpool, how Klopp moves players out, and sometimes that may have to happen. But at the end of the day, the main thing is, if we are going to, as Kevin Keegan once said, if you're going to buy better. And that's a fact.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
When he sold Colt to Man U, Shearer landed. So,
you never know. Exactly. Sky Sports News is saying that Barcelona and Real Madrid also in for Phillips, Aston Leslie, plus West Ham, Palace, and us. I don't think you'll join us, Leslie, to be fair. And that's been dead in the water for a few days now. I could be wrong, but I'd love to be proved wrong. I like we are sticking to the rules. It'll make it even sweeter, and where we are top 4 eventually building it the right way. That's the Fapper. Very true. Bigger to AV. Thank you very much indeed, mate. I really appreciate that. And I hope you're keeping good. It's doing the rounds. That's for about Kimmich, the German international player, Bayern Munich. I can't see him going anywhere. I think he'll stay here, sign this new deal. Probably the worst case scenario. And it's about Joe Linton. That's a shocker, that as well. What do you think, guys, about Joe Linton? Do you leave Craig Hope? That's very interesting. But like Paul said, just don't take no notice. Because it's Craig Hope. Let's go on.
Well, as his surname, as his surname is, there's always hope that any negotiation is successful. And but to have a negotiation, you have to have 2 parties, and those parties have to agree. Now, he may want to stay, but on the other hand, the owners might think, well, okay, what could we get? And I with the PR coming out of Newcastle, particularly the brilliant PR by Darren Eales about financial fair play and how everything blew up after that point, and suddenly Masters was down at having a conversation with the select committee, etc., and how that's now blew up in the faces of the Premier League as well in many cases. The PR from Newcastle is, one has to be aware of what they're doing as well. I think they're very, very good at what they're doing. They're getting better at it. I don't think they haven't been caught, let's say, in the right place with the circumstances which are going on around them. But with these transfers, you never know. But I'm no longer disappointed, because I know the club's in good hands. I know the club can move forward, and I know the club can attract any manager in the world now. It can attract any reasonable players in the world as well. And I think from that point of view, it's a case that they won't get rid of all the midfield. I kind of see that going Bruno and Joe Linton, and they don't want to be known as a selling club. So I think, could one go? Yes, one could go. But if they do, they'll have somebody in, and I think they'll build it even more again. So from my point of view, I'm not really that upset about it. I think it's a process, it's a journey, it's a long one. But if you're asking me, would they be disappointed, the owners, with this season to date? Yes, they would.
Yeah. Cool. Rob was saying that should this fan forum be already asking questions? If not, what's the point of it?
Well, yeah, that's they've been put together for this reason, to ask questions. So
yeah,
I'm with Ronald on that. That's the point of what they were made for. To ask these questions. So we've got you've got Amanda and Mehrdad, who seem to be quite open with communication. Darren is very good. The club have been talked to us much more. If you put it all on what in the years they've come in, they've probably done more in this time than Mike Ashley did in this whole time with us. Because he was famous for just staying that well, being in the spotlight when he wanted to be, but otherwise just staying quiet or not giving any communication apart from kind of rubbish like, I'm going to give Rafa every penny we have possible, which was about 10p, and a Sports Direct mug. So we know about Mr. Ashley and his pointless communication. That's what we love about this club, that they've been very forward with that communication with us, which is it's just so refreshing to have. Even though it still winds people up, I know, but the ticket stuff, with the amount of people that kicked off about that, they did change it within 24 hours. I know it's still not perfect, but it does show they are willing to listen and willing to hold their hands up when they do make a mistake. So hopefully this, the point of this fan stuff does actually work, because otherwise, like Ronald's saying, what was the point of doing it? So hopefully it does cause some cause for questions, because that's the point.
Yeah, I agree. You just got to look after the fans as well, and they got a ticket, season ticket, away tickets meeting next week apparently. Because I spoke to Shelley Crawford, and they were saying about that as well. So what's going to be moving forward for away tickets, away games next season. So that'd be interesting. So let's move on. In Dan Ashworth's role, Man U's top of the tree, commercially one of the biggest clubs on the planet. No one can blame him if he goes. I don't think he's going anywhere, AV, mate. He's not going anywhere. And it's also irksome that the national press are pushing Wall Gems to other Premier League club. Got to press. Now, you know what it is, mate? I'm not going to listen to them at all whatsoever. Fabrizio Romano, it's the one I listen to. That is it. What about the loan deals? Alan, does it affect that FFP rubbish? We're going to talk about that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with 2 Manchester City fans coming on, me sure, as well. And no, we made him a midfield enforcer. Yeah. Press are desperate to derail us by causing unrest. Personally, don't think Darren Eales' interview helped the situation. Didn't understand broadcasting to the world. We can't spend without sending. We're going to speak it out tomorrow.
He didn't say that. He didn't say
no,
that.
You're right, Paul. He didn't. I think he concentrated on FFP. In my opinion, he went there to do a job on FFP from a PR exercise, and I think he did it. And I think there's been ramifications from that. We've all seen it. The papers, the parliamentary committee, basically grilling Masters. Now the Premier League are starting to pull back. Well, So what's going to happen? My just a change in question here, John and Paul. But here's one question from me: if Man City then go through all these positions regarding these 115 charges, and then FFP is changed, how does that fit around those charges when effectively FFP could be dropped?
Yeah, that's so
Exactly.
true. That's so true, because
Very,
it's like,
very true. It's a farce, isn't it?
So it is a farce, because the slightest bit of pressure on, I think Masters is dreadful. I think he speaks with a forked tongue. And the fact when he actually, a Freudian slip, which again I took notice of a great deal, when he went from the big clubs to the smaller clubs, and how that just dropped off his tongue quite easily without any ramifications or any thought from him. That tells me what he thinks, and if he thinks that way, he shouldn't be a CEO.
mm-hmm.
So it now tells me they're in trouble. And if there's ever an advertisement for a regulator coming, which I don't want, I've told you this, but if there's ever an advertisement for a regulator to come in, the fiasco about FFP, what's going on with the clubs, Masters interview, you talk about shooting oneself in the foot, really. And this guy did a really great hatchet job on himself and the EPL, and it serves them right. So, but I don't know how they're going to be able to square the circle by saying, okay, we're going to change it, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, and then they're going to go all the way back, because there's a lot of innuendos, accusations, third-party references which have no place in court. Never mind rules that got no place in court, which Manchester City are being accused. I'm no Manchester City fan, but all I want to say is there's a little bit of justice done. But on the other hand, I don't see Man City really hurt, because it'll hurt all the other clubs and it'll hurt our league. And as one gentleman already said, which I read today on X, and he's spot on, and which I said to you only a few nights ago, his concern is we're making the right mess of what's going on in the Premier League, but at the same time, the European Super League will be rubbing their hands in glee because what's going on over here, which gives them the opportunity to strengthen over there.
That's very true. That's very understandable there. We have to see what happens, but it's going to be interesting. But I tell you what, this Premier League and Richard Masters are a disgrace, man. Honestly,
Yes,
they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. But they can't even fix it. They can't even tell the nation when that trial's going to be for Man City. But we'll see what happens here. We can't guess
but
it.
It's a typical monopoly, John. It's a particular disease with monopolistic organisations, whether government or these people. What happens? The tail ends up wagging the dog.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got with EPL. It's absolutely a mess. It's out of control.
Yeah. Facts. It's just facts. Does club keep any cash available now and spend big into something to strengthen the team? I think that could be a possibility. There's always a degree of standoffs or contracts. The agent wants the best deal for his client. If the club don't want to spend much more money, it is what it is. It'll sign if it's good for him. And I'm on the same boat. Just Evening Chronicle. That's an Alan. Yes, well, after the Bruno on his home, Joey may have second thoughts if he can separate himself out from Bruno. That is the thing. Phil's chatting to Lorraine. And let's go on to Mark. Hi to you, Mark. Do you not make cause hopeless over taking notice of him? That's hopeless. That's can you go? Could you hope? Big wow. Do you mean he's called Craig Hopeless? I love it, man. I love it. The problems of Bruno and Big Joe are obviously very close personally. Danger would be if one leaves, the other wouldn't be far behind. Paul, that's a possibility, mate.
Maybe, but people made this big stink about the chap at West Ham, and when he was potentially coming to Newcastle and all this, and he was seen in Bruno's back garden, and everyone was putting two and two and making 7. you're allowed to be friends in football. You don't have to play together to be friends in football. I just think that sometimes it's much ado about nothing. It's great they're friendly. It's brilliant. It's lovely. But just because one moves, that doesn't just mean definitely they're going. It's a bizarre thing that people get obsessed with. Like I said,
Well-
there's a whole Paquetá stuff when people are like, he's coming. Agent Bruno is on the case. No, it's about what the contract makes sense.
Well, Paquetá, Paul, could be off to Man City again if everything's been heard after his so-called betting scandal over in Brazil. I don't know what's gone on there, but seemingly that's why Man City pulled out. But they say that I do follow a little bit of West Ham as well, and their lads are saying, well, they could come back in for this kid as well. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. But again, there's Moyes. He's not being given this money, and again, you have to ask the reason why.
I agree, guys. Facts, absolute facts. There he is. Like Effing boy, it's been a very hurtful few months, but I feel better about everything. We only come back stronger. This is not hope talking, John. It's absolutely fifth. We go again. Big up TMC. I hope you're having a good time. It's good to see you back on the show. And why give over, man? We aren't Ashley, Andy Carroll, or McKeek. Repeat a biz, they're not offering our players better wage. That's when they went to Liverpool for more wages, like Craig, the dope. You hope the dope as Trent.
Hope the dope.
Hope you don't. That's certainly Pilkey, Lorraine. Hi to Kel. Hope you're having a good day. Man City on loan deals. Really interesting. Clubs that are hundreds of millions of pounds in debt should be able to buy players so their debt is clear. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, mate, and that's going to be an interesting show. Good news does not sell on papers. I'll be using nothing from the press. All right, as look at when we've got us a nil. I don't think we're dropped. It's going to be in 2, yeah. And apparently Andy Carroll didn't want to leave too. He was told to go, and he was hoping he failed his medical. Interesting. And City has denied any wrongdoings. Everton didn't, and Forest have that legal expert with denials. Marco, isn't it? Right, Let's go on. Yeah. We can chat tomorrow. We'll talk about Bruno as well. I mean, I'll go with you, Paul, first. There's multiple reports that saying that PSG wants him, Madrid and Barca wants him as well. And there's one newspaper yesterday said that he wants to leave as soon as possible. It's that, and it's just crazy, Paul, man. I mean, I just wish they left us alone. Do you know what I mean? He's signed his contract. He's got a release clause in his contract. He isn't going anywhere in the summer. He loves Newcastle United. Is he going to be here next season, or do you think he's going to be on his way because of the FFP?
I mean, look how miserable he was in that Newcastle top, John. In that interview with Joe, he looked really miserable. He hated it. I'm being sarcastic, obviously, completely sarcastic.
You are.
He absolutely loves it here, mate. It's simple. He loves being at Newcastle. He's settled in here. It's been a move that's worked for him. He's picked up in that same interview. He's picking up Eddie, saying how much he's bring on his own performances. Spouting Eddie for England. I was like, Bruno, shut up. Stop saying that. We want Eddie here. Look, he loves it here. And all this nonsense about wanting to leave, and it's absolute right. I won't go stronger because I could say stronger words because it does matter. It really annoys me when they put these stories out there because it's hurtful. And it's just, it's probably not even nice for Bruno to read because he's like, because he shows his passion on the pitch, how much he loves the club. Like I said, if a club comes in and triggers the contract and all that, and he's interested and it all happens, what can you do? That's why it's in the contract. But for me, PSG don't have the money. They've already said they don't have the money. Barcelona don't have. Where's Barcelona's money coming from? Because they seem to have been bankrupt for the last 10 years. They still seem to be buying players for whatever or however that's even happening. Real Madrid, for me, their midfield sorted. They already have their midfield for the next couple of years. So what would be the point of buying Bruno Gamera? I mean, obviously he's a great player. I'm not saying he's not, but you buy him, he's going to sit on the bench for 4 years and do nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's just, if an offer comes in, I think it will be, I don't know who it would be. It might, I don't think it'd be another Premier League team. I know people have been saying about Arsenal. I just don't. I don't know. I don't see that working personally. But also could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, because I don't want him anywhere near enough for a Premier League squad. If he does go, I'd rather him go somewhere else. If I'm being honest, I'd hate to. He's one of those players that just always scores against us. If he does line up against Newcastle, he's one of those for the rest of his career. That's just, that's all over. But for me, it's just, I just wonder who can afford him right now in football, especially because I think that, I don't know for a fact, I'm not saying it's the report, but I do wonder whether part of that triggering that clause, I do wonder whether part of that is, well, yeah, you can trigger it, but you want the money now. That'd be allowed. Allowed to put that in the contract. So it could be, like I say, it could be 110 million or whatever it's been reported, but it might have to be like, yeah, you can trigger it, but you want all the money up front.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can sell on players as well, Paul, because what it is, right? I mean, we know, right, that if he wants to move away from Newcastle in the summer, if the transfer speculation gets too much for him, he wants to leave. You know what? We can't stop him. He's got a release clause. Simple as that. We cannot stop him. Yeah. But Tom, before I come on to you, Jordan Henderson signed for Ajax. Thank you, Leslie, for that. I believe it's 18-month contract as well. Do you think Paquetá could be one of our surprise signings? Because the FFP rule, I doubt it. Hi to Kate and Jonathan, who hope having a good day, and perhaps Tanan to behave. Ajax love signing all players, so Henderson will be at home with Ajax. I think you do all right there. And thank God, Les. Why would they end up here? Les winning best man shouts volumes. Yeah. And me too. Right then, Tom, your take on Bruno G. I know you got a lot to say about him. Go on.
I think Bruno's an excellent player.
Go for it,
Yeah. I think first of all, he's an excellent player. I think when my own position is that when the clause was put in the contract where you would have a certain buyout facility, I think that was also leverage to get more salary, which he did. And because he's attained that higher salary with the renegotiation, if he did go, I think Newcastle would replace him very quickly, and it would have to be a summer, not a January move. I'm not sure he will go. I'm not concerned if he does go, because I know they will be able to replace him, and they will be able to replace him and move things forward. They found him where he was in the French league, and they can find somebody else out there as well. And at the end of the day, they would make a whopping profit on the man as well. And that would go then to buy possibly 2 or 3 players, who knows? Do I want him to go? No, I don't. But it would be nice to say, like Joe Little, him, and this guy who's at Atlanta, Emerson or whatever, and them playing in the same team. It would be a phenomenal midfield. That would be a wonderful sight to see. And but Bruno, I think, was all about getting a higher paid salary. And if he did go, the bar's heightened, because I agree with Paul, there's not many clubs that will be able to afford him and also afford that very, very high salary. So in some cases, there is a good chance he'll stay. But there's one important factor which Bruno, and we all forget, which will make him stay. He now has a Geordie Labrador dog.
That's it.
That's it. Fair enough. Let's hope Bruno stays for many, many more years to come, because we don't want to spend money. If you're going to get rid of players like Paul, and we'll come to you as well, I look at the players we can get rid of. I mean, the Lascelles, maybe Kraft. We can get rid of Manfredo as well. We can get rid of Richie. That's 4 players right there. And I think they need to be all gone at the end of the season. You know what I mean? It gives us the bargaining power to get more players in.
Mate, I say, isn't it? We still, you could probably make half of 11 out of like some of the scrubs we've still got in the club. Hendrick, all these players like that, still hanging on by a thread. They're still just hanging in. Actually giving these players some of the stupidest contracts in football. Really, honestly, unbelievably dumb. Some of these business decisions that we're making with these players. Because why would they go anywhere else? They're not going to get anywhere near the wages they. Yeah, I mean, no one else can afford them. We're stuck on our books because no one else can get them or can get anywhere near what they're, because they know they're not worth it. And it's just been years of these players just hanging on, going out for loans, and yeah, it's been a big problem for us for a long time. This is where people like at work or whatever, or people in the street, or people that don't know Newcastle inside out, when they're like, you know, they're going on about how like I should be happy because we got these great owners and they can spend what they want and blah blah blah. And why did we hate Ashley so much? Because, you know, it doesn't seem to make any sense why we hated Ashley so much. And this is when you get frustrated, because you're like, well, you have no idea, you didn't follow us, so this is why you don't know why it was so frustrating under Ashley for what he was doing to everything. You know, so that's why it gets frustrating when people don't understand like that sort of stuff. When we're putting players on stupid contracts, they don't ever deserve it, and we're never going to get near it. And knowing that we're going to just suffer with this for years to come, because, you know, no offense to them, some of them have been good servants for us, but again, like Isaac Hayden, I can't remember exactly what he's on at the moment, but I think it was nearly 80 grand a week or something.
I believe it. I think it's about 70 grand a week.
Who's paying that? No offense to Isaac Hayden, because I think he's been a good servant for the club in the past, but no offense to the lad, who's paying that for him in 2024? No one. Nobody's paying that, you know. And this has been the whole thing of like where we've been stuck, you know, with a lot of these contracts, a lot of this, where, you know, when we do get rid of them, we do get that bit of freedom, then we can be a bit more, you know, we can be more active. Like I said, like I said, I don't know accounts inside out. My friend who does accounting did look at the accounts for me. They kind of gave me some sort of vague description of why we can't spend as much in January. There's a summer, some rubbish to do with our reporting to the financial fair play or something. They're saying that's why it affected it. I don't pretend to know inside out because I'm not a finance expert. They said that there was a reason that Newcastle are being so frugal, and other club. I mean, this is probably in the quietest January in the Premier League for how many years? Do you know how many people have actually signed a player? Tottenham, have Burnley signed someone now? I think Burnley signed someone. Luton, I think, have signed a player, but that's about it. No one else has signed anyone, have they? It's been very quiet.
It has, because the thing is, so I mean, because they're scared of this FFP. Yeah, we're going to discuss that tomorrow. That's what it is. You know what I mean? We're not going to see 800 million being spent in January, Tom. We're just not going. It's not going to happen, mate. Not this month. It won't. It's going to be a quiet one.
I think Paul's perfectly correct. I think they are frightened to spend money. They've got Nottingham Forest. You've got ourselves who are frightened to spend money. Then you've got Man City. You've got God knows who else they'll bring to book as well. The Premier League. The thing's a mess. It's stifled investment. It's probably the only industry where investment can be stifled by the so-called appointed board, which is the English Premier League, by its own members. I don't understand. I don't have an answer for FFP, and I don't think many people do. But clearly, this January's proven that it's had a massive effect. And for Newcastle not to pay the 7 million, all right, I don't think it's worth that regarding Phillips. But it just shows that how tight things are, not just for ourselves, but for other clubs as well. And it doesn't bode well for the summer, really, when one thinks about it either, because if we're in the financial constraints, and going back to Bruno, I mean, where would Bruno go? I think Paul's right. Madrid, I think the Real Madrid, I think they're tied up with everybody they need to have in midfield. So I don't know where this money comes from, and if they're going to pay money, is it going to be on the never, which Newcastle probably wouldn't want? So it's not looking very good, and the actual deals with Mike Ashley did and Jeff Hendrick did. My God, absolutely shocking. And the other one that's not even mentioned is it Lewis, the left back? Is that right? Newcastle left back. Lewis Hall, yeah, him as well. I mean, and then you've got the guy down, what do you call him down that used to play with Eddie Howe, the winger. He's down south, and he won't play
Fraser,
again. Yeah. I mean, no wonder Newcastle are stifled when they've got all these players. And Isaac Hayden, I don't think finishes till 2026. His contract.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I believe so.
it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, man.
It is, and I like Isaac Hayden. I think he's okay as a guy. He seems to go over very, very well. And what Liège has done to him regarding not paying salaries and saying different things, and now it's maybe going to court. But yeah, and I just don't see. I'm not going to be negative, but I don't see how Newcastle can move on this. If they're going to do something in the summer, then they certainly, I can't see them filling all the places which need filling. I just cannot see that. So it's going to have to be a condensed squad. But the amount of injuries we've had as well, it just makes you wonder what's going to happen next year as well. It's been absolutely shocking. So I don't understand how they're going to square the circle Newcastle at the moment. I really, really don't. And FFP is preventing any investment in the club as well. And you know, so it's very difficult, and I don't have any answers for it. But with all due respect to the others and the experts, nor do they.
No.
Nah. Oh, you gotta love Alan. We have a great sign to come in the summer, Tonali. Indeed.
True. Very true.
Very true. And
yeah, that'll be good to see him back.
Yes. 2.5 year deal for Henderson.
Shocking.
He's the highest paid player, I think, for Ajax as well. Something like
how has he
85.
managed that? How has he managed it? I just don't understand.
Unbelievable.
No,
it is. And of course, by not coming back to the UK from a tax point of view, there may be an issue by the fact you had to stay out one full financial year, April to April, and that would help him as well. So that's not a bad point for him. But I don't know what sort of deal. How much is he on a week? Does anybody know?
Hayden is on a week.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about what do you call him? That's gone to Ajax.
I believe it's going to be on 80 grand a week
for Ajax. That's very good.
Yeah, good for him. But he wants to get game time so he can play for England again. But we'll see.
God, no.
That's according to Ben Jacobs.
No. Oh, God's sake. He shouldn't be anywhere near England. Oh, my God.
Not good.
Oh, God. He's going to be on the plane, isn't he? I can't. Southgate.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance he could be. Yeah.
Oh, Southgate. Oh, my God. I can't wait for this guy to get out of the club.
Get him out. Get this guy out after the Euros. Get him out. Just get him out. So sorry about that. So I'm just going to let that one go because I'm on a show. Bruno does love it here. However, if Joel goes, Bruno goes. And like Roger says, Joe wasn't Bruno's best. Was Bruno's best man. They joined at the hip. And let's go some more comments. Are we as a team too reliant on Bruno playing?
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. 100%. 100% agree with that. We are too reliant on him.
And that is not right. You should be playing it together. You should be playing it all together. And McCreal joining up with Rafa again. That's breaking news, by the way. That he could be going to Celta Vigo, according to Foxy, and all other outlets as well to rejoin Rafa Benitez too. So good luck to McCreal when he goes to Celta Vigo. And decent club, by the way. I wish him success if he does score. So that's one for you up and more to go. Hayden could be next. Sorry about that. I'm going to switch on my phone, Ashley. Go to Mancrido to Rafa. We said that. Let's he received his pension credits after his deal ends. That's some Alan. You got to love Alan, haven't you? So let's move on quickly to Isak. I mean, he's not going anywhere. Lad said that he's not going to go anywhere. I can't say because Arsenal want him, and apparently he's took them down.
They can want him all they want. They can want him all they want. They ain't getting him.
Arsenal want everybody.
They do, don't they?
The thing about it is, though, not many of their supporters want the manager, though. So I thought Isak looked really good. I thought he looked sharp. I thought he looked fit. He looked very, very good and back to his normal self. People say, "Oh well, he's not an out centre forward." I think he is, and I think he'll grow in the job as well. We just need to keep just providing him with more and more, you know. So But I think that's true. What one of you said. I think we do maybe rely on Bruno a little bit too much. I don't think we have an alternative. I don't think Eddie really has an alternative, and I don't think that can be good either. But who do you get? Who do you get? Is that going to be dealt with in the summer? With the way financial players, I just don't think they have that sort of legacy where you can have two players who can swap around whatever. Tonali, he could do a job, but probably I think he would fit in probably Sean Longstaff's position. I'll be pleased when he's back because I think if he hadn't been banned, I think it could have been a wonderful time for Tonali. I think he could have come forward as a player. Yeah, he would have had massive opportunities to do that. But God, yeah, is the season finished yet?
I just wish the season ends now. Let's be real. Tonali Bruno are similar. We've not seen Tonali in full floor. Self-told yes, but he is rated very highly as being a world-class midfielder in the making. I tell you what, next season he also has won. I'm a Tonali fan because I watch him for Serie A. That guy is brilliant. Tonali's also a dead ball specialist. He is indeed. Tonali, Bruno, and Joe will be at colossal mid if we see the day. Ryan Fraser, he can stay there. He's going goals to Southampton, but he's found his level. Yes, he has. That's his level. I don't care what anyone's there. That is his level. Tonali wants to be on the 14 Christmas card list by now. Surely training with the team this long should come back in. Seems he should be back in training soon ready for the summertime. And 160k a week on Bruno. I agree, have not seen the best of the lad. Never mind his level. Just need Southampton to take him long term. Fraser, totally agree. And Henderson loves Edam cheese and Amstel beer, a match made in heaven. Gary, I love that. Henderson has highest wage earning in Eredivisie 90 years. I believe he's on 80 grand a week, or probably about 87k a week. Maybe a bit more. Could agree more. He's living an audition demon. Don't speak too soon, Paul. If Southgate is out, guess who's in? That's interesting.
Graham Potter.
Yep. And let's go for please sign the last players. That's Southampton. Yes. Lawrence got this table, the race table. 160k for Bruno, Isak 120, and Trippier, and Tonali.
Look at that target.
100k a week. 100k a week.
Oh, I need Matt Target's agent. He can organise my salary at work.
Exactly. And Ars can basically F off Sniff and Isak do one exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't worry, he ain't gonna play for Scarlett. He ain't gonna pay for Captain Scarlett. Don't worry.
Nah, definitely not. Roger Jorge, just don't get it at all. And thank you, Epic.
You mean Paul? You mean Captain Black?
Captain Black. I like that. Arsenal team. I love Alan.
Yeah, the Mistrons, yeah.
The puppet show.
Yeah.
41 people in the building. Thanks very much indeed, and to the viewers. Make sure you smash the likes as well, please, if you are watching the channel as well. Very much appreciated as well, man. And Gary, I think Lorraine's put the decimal point in at the wrong place on that. Henderson's a good deal for Ajax. Have been awful this season, really lacking experience, and now they got it. I think Ajax could be back. They're doing well. Lega Heat, that's from Ronald as well. But there's no football this weekend, yeah. But I want to talk about quickly about. I don't know if I spoke to Tom about the tickets as well. The away fans as well. It's kicking off because to go by one ticket per person. I want to take your views on it as well because I've been asking everybody, but I want to get your views, Tom, about the weird tickets. I mean, fans are kicking off about the weird tickets. People's questioning about the support, and said that you're not a real fan, you're not a proper fan, blah blah blah. What's your take on it, mate?
Well, I'm not sure what the backstory is, but I remember when I used to go to the away matches, I always got a sense of belonging to the fans and the club, and even at my age, you have a bit of a chant, you really get involved and you back your team. The people who I've met who still got the tickets say that it's not quite the same now. And I don't know if that's true or not, where they're saying, people are going along and it's not the same atmosphere. They're behind the team, but they're not sort of the typical Newcastle United supporter, if there is one. So I also know that the way some of this, the way tickets and how that they're being allocated has been uncomfortable for a lot of supporters. And one thing I saw, which I found a bit unusual, where he's on some sort of committee at Newcastle United Football Club, and he's living in the US, and he's been able to get to certain very difficult matches he's been able to get to. And I thought that extraordinary, really. So that went down as a PR exercise quite badly. But I don't know the complete backstory, John, I'll be honest with you. But some of the things I have seen, I know the club's trying to do their best. I know it's difficult. I know that. But some of the things, I think they're learning, the club, and I think they're making mistakes along the way as well. But it's not perfect.
Absolutely. Got one here from Lorraine. RTS. She means Arteta. He's this. Yeah. I tell you what, if he ever becomes Newcastle's manager, ever, I'll be disappointed. The best looking Spaniard ever there is. No, he's not. But that guy, honestly, he's shocking. He's a shocking manager. But yeah, I mean, for me, like I'll only had 8 points going into the new season, but I've built them up well for away games as well. But yeah, and Paul, we know it's well documented about this away season tickets. People still kicking off, and we're keeping away from it, man.
Well, it's look, I've been going to the games since I was 18. I'm 36 now. I've been to many away games. Sometimes it's 50-50 with away. I mean, I've been to, supposedly like one of the sweet points of being a Newcastle away support was in the Championship, because a lot of fans were like, that deems you as like a real fan, whatever a real fan is, because you stuck with the lads in the champions in the Championship. Now I went to a few away, and they were great. Cardiff away was one of the best I was ever in. That was unbelievable away. And then I went to others where it was dead and no one sang or no one was interested. That was back in the days where people thought you were, like I said, a real fan, whatever that's meant to mean. I've been to aways this season where it's been incredible, amazing, just as good as Cardiff. And then I've been to a few where it is a bit quiet or a bit less. I just think sometimes it depends on the crowd. It depends on how the team's doing. If a team's like on a big up, you always feel the crowd's always more up for it because the lads are doing well. I think it's been difficult this season in particular because, no offense, our away form has been pretty bad. So there has been much to sing about away in particular. But look, for me, I still think that most of the guys who are there want to be there. The usual face. You see a lot of the usual faces when you go. You say hello to the same sort of people when you see them. People know you in and around there when you bump into them and whatever.
Yeah.
Adam and stuff, bless him, he does get a bit of stick and stuff and that sort of stuff. But that's just because some people don't understand what he does. That's that's their issue. For me, it's hard. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't understand why it bothers people so much. If they don't want to, if they choose not to do it, that's cool. No problem. But people choose to do it. I don't know what the big kickoff is about it. We've been through this many times. For me, I don't care. I don't care if you've been a fan for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever. If you're a fan of Newcastle and you're a fan of the club, I'll be your best mate because I'm a fan too. Like I said, a million times I've been to St. James's Park with people who have been going longer than I've been alive. And I've met people who have come for their first ever game. And for me, it's a cool experience to meet anyone who goes to support the club I've loved since I've been 5 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care how long you've loved the club. I don't care if you're new to the club just because you know the takeover. It doesn't offend me as much as some people. I don't know why it offends people so much. It's bizarre to me because to me, it's another fan.
Facts, absolute facts. And you know what? You just got to write about it now because for me, Well, I spoke to someone today, right? And I said to her that if you, like you said, Paul, if you're a Newcastle fan from day one, you're a Newcastle fan. End of story. Yeah. End of story. Do you know what I mean? No ifs, no buts. Yeah. And if they don't like it, they can cry more. You know what? I'll pass caring about the losers or the wasters and the hipsters as well. And I will say that because at the end of the day, I hope people's watching, people's trying to meet. I hope you're watching. You know what I mean? What can I say? But you got to speak facts. You got to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Don't let them win. Don't let the trolls win. Don't let them have a go at you. Do you know? I mean, someone got blocked. Someone blocked someone today, right? For having an opinion, and he didn't come back. End of story. The refs has not been good to us on away games, Alan. We just haven't been good enough, mate, away from home. That needs fixing up real quick because we don't fix it away games, Tom, real quick. We're going to be in more trouble. Because they get sometimes an easy and soft touch.
Yeah, I agree. And the more pressure that ends up on Eddie Howe, we have a habit at the moment of getting beat. And being an ex-sportsman, I know what that's like. It's difficult. And to get that win, first of all, to get back on a winning streak, it's incredibly difficult at times. So I think Eddie's probably very, very aware of that. I think one of the issues clearly is central midfield. He needs to have that man just sitting in at the back. We didn't need him last season. I don't understand why. I'm not a tactician, but we need him this season. Clearly, a lot of goals have come through there. But they've got the only thing that's keeping us afloat is our wonderful home record. Yeah. But we have to be careful. We have to be careful because if that slips, then we could have a number of issues. And we certainly don't want to be looking over our shoulder at anybody. So, I think Eddie, with this break, get the team together, get the tactical analysis sorted out, and start to try and plug the gaps and just scrape a draw here, there, and everywhere, if possible, away from home, and pick up those wonderful points at home. But it's so difficult for them, particularly with the injuries and with Joe Linton being out. Who's just a dynamo in that midfield in terms of his strength and power, and how he looks after the rest of the side in terms of when he dominates other teams when they start to pick on certain players. It's quite remarkable how he's turned his whole game around. But when you lose somebody like that, so Eddie's got his work cut out. I don't know where to start with that, but we've got to get the away form sorted out because if the home form stutters, we are going to be looking over our shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not in any danger yet, but I think we've got some nice home games coming up as well. Luton at home, Bournemouth at home. I think we've got Everton in March, I think, as well. Arsenal is going to be tricky. Forest is going to be tricky. But I tell you what, these are the games going to tell us where we're going to be. Because, yes, we've got to start winning games. And, yes, we've got to fix up on away games as well. That is an absolute must. But Nick Pope's a miss. Jolin's going to be a miss. And you know what? We got most of the players back. It's good to see Joe Willett coming back in very, very soon. And Harvey Beast's going to come in as well. Look, years ago, we couldn't win away against any London teams. That is very true until we beat Arsenal 3-1, then followed up by beating Tottenham as well. Right, we're going to wrap up the show there. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. It's been another cracking show in the transfer window. Would you keep Bruno forever? I would. And Isak's got to stay forever as well. Jamal Marcel's to just let him go this month. Creo's going to be on his way to Celta Vigo. And Joe Linton is having a contract standoff according to Craig Hope. So there you go. We'll see what happens. So I say, Tom, where can he find you, man, on social media?
I'm just mainly on X at Asset Vigilante. That's Asset Vigilante. You can catch us on there. And I do comment on a number of things, particularly Newcastle, but other things as well, which go on. And but yes, you can catch us on there. And I give normally try to have balanced opinions. But if it's with the Tories, then it's not normally balanced. It's annoyance. But with Newcastle, it tries to be balanced. And but Asset Vigilante, you can get me at.
Big up. Thank you so much indeed. Someone said to me that Rooney was linked to the Toon. Either be happy, but retire and a rub. I like it, Leslie. Newcastle fan since 9. When Keegan made his debut in 83. Was it 82? He made his debut in 82. I'm sure he made his debut in 82 when he scored against QPR in a 1-0 win. My first away match, 13 away at Spurs in the FA Cup 87, when 15,000 Jordans viewed at London. Shame we lost, but what a day. And guys, is Egypt for me.
Brilliant.
It sure is. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, Gary. And Leslie, thank you, Fapper Pickle. Nice name as well. And thanks to everyone in the chat as well. I really appreciate that, Gary and Lauren as well. Paul, we can find you on Twitter. Everyone knows you on Twitter.
Yeah, all the kind people on here. It's at Blank Canvas PC. If you're interested, by the way, at 10 o'clock, and it's a late one, 10 p.m., I'm going on an American channel about Newcastle. Very kindly offered to go on there. So that's a very kind offer. I'll put all the stuff up when he linked. He hasn't linked me in anything yet, but when he does, I'll repost that up. So if you're around at 10 o'clock tonight, I know it's a late one, it'd be fun. I'll obviously repost it after we've been on there. So nice kind offer there. Nice of him to give me an offer to go on there. So just wants to get into a few Newcastle things later. So it'd be interesting. So if any of you are bored, you're welcome to come along.
Fantastic stuff. And which channel is that? Do you know the channel's name?
Oh God, now you're asking. Hang on 2 secs, mate. Bear with me. I have got it here.
Yeah.
I didn't want to promote it without permission. It's Chris Rod, his name is.
Cool.
I'll just double check his channel. It just says his name's Chris Rod. I'm trying to find the name of the TRFT podcast is what it is.
Cool
so
stuff.
I'll repost it on.
Repost it, my guy. That'd be brilliant, man. And then I might even have a look at it as well later on. Thank you for Alan. Thank you, Papa, again. Take care of you as well, and Lorraine as well. And just to say that Jordan Henderson thanked Etifac fans as well. I dare not be happy at all, but still, it is what it is. So, guys, like the video, like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. Tomorrow is the FFP special with Carl and Martin, both Manchester City fans as well. They're the expert on it as well. They're going to explain to Newcastle fans how it works. And Paul will be on tomorrow as well. And thanks so much for coming.